Hi guys, how's it going today?
Hello, I'm
Good.
okay.
Good, good. So, Jonathan, where are you calling in from right now?
I am in Berlin, Germany, and the weather is horrible, but I'm great. Kind of lovely.
Hear that the weather's not so great in Berlin right now. What about you, Marion?
I kind of stuck in Switzerland. Weather is obviously a bit better as well as the internet reception. I'm doing good, thank you. I'm happy to join you on that call.
Good. So I'm here today with Jonathan, who is the founder of TipMe, and Marion, who is the founder of Dawn Denim. And we're here to kind of talk about the partnership between the two of you guys today. Marion, Dawn Denim set out to prove that you can have a brand that benefits everyone in the value chain. And to do that, it meant starting your own factory. So could you walk us through kind of your mission with Dawn Denim and what you're doing to achieve that?
Okay, yeah, I think it's important to stress out that Dawn doesn't want to be another fashion brand. So we see ourselves rather than the bridge between the market and the maker. And while being this, we at the same time we want to acknowledge the effort, the craftsmanship, and more importantly the human being behind the pair of jeans. We also want to empower the consumer to sort of make the right choice, and also empower the worker who does the work in order to make them understand that they're equally important in this brand value chain. So yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell what Dawn wants to be. Our mission to complete that is it's, I think it's a big part of healthy naivety we need in order to sort of go that journey. And it's a lot about transparency. I mean, it all starts with transparency, and I think that's our key asset, by being transparent, being honest about our failures, our challenges, our struggles, in the same time as we try and really to open this industry part to the consumer.
Interesting. Yeah, amazing. Well, it's very admirable. And I loved the story that, when you were starting out, you couldn't find a factory that kind of did what you needed. So that's where you started. You started and the focus really was on the humans who were making your product. So I thought that was very admirable. And Jonathan, you're the only person I've met that has started your activism so early, or the activism journey so early. You started at the age of 5, which is so absolutely crazy to me, and so wonderful. But it's no wonder that Timmy's up for a Fair Trade Award this year. So big congrats to that. But I'd love to know more about what the driving force behind Tippme was. What is it, and how does it work?
Sure. So way back in 2014, the first Primark, so this fast fashion chain, opened in Berlin, Germany. And I was activist at the time, so I gave out flyers to the people waiting in line, like similar to Black Friday, to run in and get T-shirts that are cheaper than a cup of coffee. And I told the people, and that's what the flyer also said, that only 3% of what you pay for a pair of jeans, for example, actually goes to the people that make those jeans. So I thought, what normal human being would not pay 3% more to double the wage of the people that make your jeans? The only thing that we need is a direct and transparent way to actually get that money to the people where it belongs. And that was the basic idea. Like, if we can find a way to directly connect consumer and producer in a transparent, human to human way, that's the start of making global supply chains so much more fair and human. Because once you get to know a person, once you understand the journey that a product makes, once you understand how much human effort, how much manual labor goes into this very product, then the only logical conclusion is to pay a fair wage. Fair wage. But you have to create that human connection and the transparency. And what TipMe actually does is we provide a software for online shops where all fashion brands can show the people that make the products. You have a small profile of the workers. You can choose how much you want to tip them, and we send 100% of their tips directly to the bank account of those workers.
Yeah, and I love that you guys were mentioning before to me that it really deepens this connection of
Yeah.
transparency too, because you need the bank numbers of the employees like at the
Yeah.
factory. So it's like an extreme level of transparency that you need. And obviously, like we can see how this partnership pretty much seamlessly came together. You both are really trying to focus on the humans behind our clothes, and that's honest. I'm a huge advocate for connecting people with their clothing because we are so disconnected. So I love that. But I kind of want to know from both of your perspectives what benefits you're seeing from actually using TipMe on your site, or personally from you, Jonathan, how TipMe is succeeding and working with different brands. So yeah, maybe Marian, we can start with you here.
As you just mentioned, I think TipMe is a great tool to enable transparency. Maybe even on a B2B level, we'll understand how complex that world actually is,
Mhm.
this relation between brand and factory. So, and I think that's also the challenge we have with TipMe, to also explain people that this is not just, you know, leaving the tip on the table at the coffee shop. It's something really yeah, it's really digging deep and really having a bond. So I think, yeah, it's a from a from an overall B2B perspective, it's a great enabler for transparency. From having a factory as well as a brand, it's a great opportunity to build bonds and relations between brands and factories. You know, while we are on this Kingpins channel, I think it's also there's a great opportunity for a manufacturer to introduce this idea actually to the brand and say, listen, guys, you know, we're open for that one. You can have access to our workers. And especially in times of COVID, my driving force, or our driving force, was to set a statement for solidarity, to actually make people understand, while a lot of big guys didn't pay their invoices for whatever reason, you know, we wanted to show people, listen, guys, you're not forgotten. You know, we are there, and we're not only sticking to our promises, we're doing more than that. We are aware that, you know, social networks, insurances in developing in those countries are not as advanced as in Europe. So we want to we take that serious, and we really want to help. And on this level, it's a great tool and initiative. And from the brand, we just finished. I think again, it's now sustainable fashion is that such a buzzword, and nobody really knows anymore what that means. And the same as transparency, and it's a lot of brands, by having a pin on the map, you know, with an address, proving that I'm transparent because I know where the factory is located.
Yeah.
That's just another level. So it's a great storytelling you have as a brand, a great storytelling asset, and a very true storytelling asset. And, you know, you're building relation with people, and not with an anonymous place somewhere in Asia, you know. And I understand why they're up for the free trade award, and you know, I'm touching wood. You know, it's I really hope that more brands, and as well as factories, and I think that's the opportunity here, will get on board, and, you know, enables this cooperation
Yeah,
between market and maker, you know.
I love that. Yeah, for sure. And Jonathan, how have you seen TipMe kind of with not just Dawn Denim, but in general? How have you seen its success with brands? Like, how are consumers responding well?
Mhm. So obviously, before starting TipMe, we did a lot of research, kind of to get an estimate how many people would use this, blah blah blah. And we were so wrong. We thought maybe five, if we're lucky, 10% would use TipMe. Now every second person that buys something with our partners actually gives a tip.
It's so
And it's so great to see that how engaged consumers are, because they don't only give a tip, they also want to get follow-up emails on what their tip actually changed for the people that make the product. And they start valuing the brands more that enable that transparency, because as Marianne said, it's something that you can't fake.
no.
And I think consumers really understand that. They're so sick of another certificate or so on, because fairness in the end is not about numbers, it's not about certificates, it's about the people. So showing the actual people that are behind the product, it's something that is such a level of transparency that customers really understand, okay, this brand is not messing around. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still blown away by the huge, great feedback that we're getting from customers.
I'm so happy to hear that. Honestly, it's really nice to know that consumers actually care. I mean, I think it hits closer to home a bit with the humanitarian issue. So it's great that you've seen such great success, and especially with you, Marion, too. But I really want to thank you guys for your time today. I'm such a big fan of both of yours. So thank you for spreading this around, and I hope more people start to adopt Tipney. So yeah,
All right.
thanks for your time.
Thanks so much for having
Thank
us.
you, and we'll
Thank
talk
you very
soon.
much.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.